SoundOff, Louisiana's premier television sports talk show, is on deck from the Caesars Sportsbook at Horseshoe Lake Charles. The three wise guys are mic'd up and ready. SoundOff begins now.
It's time to get into the Christmas spirit for you guys. SoundOff coming to you from Caesars Sportsbook, Horseshoe Lake Charles.
Yes.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry
Ho, ho,
Christmas.
ho.
We got it set up, guys. Thanks for dropping
We're in the
by.
spirit.
Kevin, Scooter, and Rick
you
right
went
here,
to a lot of trouble
huddled up
there.
here at Caesars Sportsbook. Going to have a lot of fun. Kind of an early Christmas gift for you SoundOffers out there. We got a long sit down with new McNeese head football coach Matt Viator, old friend of the show. He's coming
Yes, he
back
is.
for part two. All week we got Viator in the fourth chair, so that's a little
We
Christmas
will.
gift
Looking
for
forward
you
to
guys
that.
out there. LSU gets Baylor in the Texas Bowl.
Ah.
They're going back to Houston. We'll get
Yeah.
our reaction to that.
Dave
Plus
Aranda.
Yes,
the
he is.
Tigers in the portal. Tigers with NIL. Tigers
getting
recruiting.
drafted.
Tigers in the NFL draft. The
Yes.
whole bit here. All right, Slade Nagle
have it
no
all.
longer on the staff at LSU. The
No.
former Cowboy quarterback. We'll
We
tell you
talked
where
about
he's
that
headed
last
to.
week a little bit.
And of course, the CFP playoff bracket is set.
It is.
And we can't do anything like that without drama and conflict, right?
It's always.
Not
you
on
know,
this
it-
show, maybe. I don't know.
It's
there's
always.
all drama and
They're
conflict.
going to have to do something
All
to
right,
fix it.
let's get this thing
Fix it.
rocking.
I got my
with the
reasons why.
Texas
Oh,
Bowl,
gosh, I
LSU
figured.
versus Baylor. Dave Aranda, you mentioned
Yeah,
it, former
former
Tiger
LSU
defensive
defensive
coordinator.
coordinator.
Hey, started off 8-4, so we got 2 8-4s going. I think it's a good bowl.
You know,
Houston,
Baylor started the season 2-4.
2-4.
Yeah.
And won their last 6.
They're hopping.
They did.
They're hopping.
They
Look,
did.
Aranda was on the hot seat.
well, you start that way.
I would love to have them come
look,
back to LSU, though.
You're the big shot with the L Club.
Yeah.
A lot of alumni in Houston.
A lot. Big,
This is their
big.
third Texas Bowl, so they'll have a
We're
lot
giving,
of
a
LSU
big,
folks.
we're giving a big little shindig there in Texas, man.
NRG Stadium. That's
Yes.
December 31st afternoon game. New Year's
2:30.
Eve, 2:30
New Year's
kickoff
Eve.
there. We'll have more on that matchup as the ensuing weeks go by. All right, let's
If you
get
go
on
play
Kelly.
New Year's Eve. That's probably a good time. It's before everybody goes out to
It is.
celebrate.
It
New
is.
Got it
Year's
figured
Eve.
out there, Mr. Hobbs. All right, the coaching staff for Brian Kelly. He's not going to involve any changes when it comes to Slade Nagle. He's leaving Baton Rouge, going to Houston to
Yeah.
a little reuniting with Willie Fritz,
Yeah.
OC.
Yeah.
And that's
I think it's a good move.
Well, it gets him to be offensive coordinator.
Again,
Yeah.
Where,
yes.
You know, he was kind of the low man. Usually tight end coach is low, tight end special teams
Yeah.
is low
Yeah.
on the totem pole. But yeah,
But it was
that's a
LSU.
good move.
It was LSU.
It was,
Okay.
yeah.
You like the move for him?
Yeah.
Professional.
I mean, you know, I
Big 12.
I
It's
actually-
Houston. Big 12.
Yeah. No, I was getting used to Slade being there and stuff. I was seeing his dad at every game. You know, he was there and stuff, and we was laughing and joking up in the suites and stuff. So I guess I'll be missing him. He won't be coming
Look,
back next year.
here's an angle. Willie Fritz, I had to look it up. Willie Fritz is 64.
Yeah, he is.
Now, if Nagle and Fritz get this thing turned around, Slade might be kind of in position to maybe take a look at that head job.
That's a thought.
If he
Rick, you know,
succeeds
that-
at
yeah.
OC.
I don't know who
that's-
all else
that's a
is
thought.
on that staff.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
But, OC,
But I mean, when Fritz left Tulane,
Yeah.
Nagle became the
that's
interim.
right.
Yeah.
Good
He
point.
did.
Good point.
He
All
did.
right, let's get into the LSU roster situation. Transfer portal. Opened up this past Monday. So we'll, this week, the ensuing week and weeks, we'll see what this is.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I think the only surprise for me was this receiver C.J. Daniels jumping
Yeah.
to the portal
Yeah,
after a
that
pretty
was-
productive year.
Yeah,
He
and
did.
He
He
was
did.
pretty reliable
Yeah.
receiver.
He
I
did.
don't know. You know,
You see, you never know.
they all
You
have their
see?
reasons.
You see what I tell you in Scooter every week? You never know. You never know.
Well, these young people,
You
know,
gotta
always,
listen to
always
what's going
greener
on.
pastures.
The
I
locker
get it.
room can tell you a lot if you just listen.
Well, the who?
The locker room can tell you a lot if you just
I'm not
listen.
arguing that. I'm not arguing that. All right, so Deshaun Womack, another guy who's a linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of him
Played less and less as the year went on.
Yeah.
and Ricky
I didn't
Collins.
know if he was hurt or not. I don't know
Outside
what.
of Daniels, I think production-wise, that's really the biggest
It was
loss
pretty,
so far.
yeah, it was pretty low.
You know,
Daniels,
bless
Daniels
you.
was a big
I
surprise
have
though.
been turning it off.
All right. NFL draft, no shock, Will Campbell. I think Emory Jones should make his decision announced pretty soon.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
It's not already.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
The big question is really Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, transfer portal is out. This kid's
Mason
not going anywhere.
Taylor's gone.
Mason Taylor, you're right.
Mason Taylor.
That
Mason
kind of was
Taylor.
a mini surprise.
And neither one of them said whether they're going to play in the bowl or not. Probably not.
Well, that determines what
And
happens when
Nussmeier said even if he does decide to go pro, he's going to play in the bowl regardless. So
Guidry.
Don't ask me that.
No. Here, look. I'm looking. I'm trying to get into the mind of Nussmeier and his dad, Doug. All right.
I'm going to tell you the truth.
What, you're the truth meister now?
All right,
look. The quarterback draft this year in the NFL, outside of Shedeur Sanders is the prime candidate.
Yeah, he is.
Quinn Ewers has fallen. His stock has fallen. Carson Beck has fallen. Now he's hurt.
Well, after the game Quinn Ewers had this past week, I don't know.
Oh, his stock has fallen, no doubt.
No, I would think.
It's fallen.
Yeah, it has.
Nussmeier has value this year in the NFL.
But he had that little interception.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
But the NFL does love his arm.
Yeah.
Does he stay or go? What's your best?
My hunch is he stays.
Okay, mine too.
Yeah.
He's already said he's playing in the bowl.
He's got to stay. And I shouldn't say it that way, but
no, he's got to.
He wants to add value to himself, he stays.
Kelly is in a heaping pile of doo-doo.
If he wants to add value
if
to himself,
Nussmeier goes.
He stays.
Depends on who ends up.
Well,
because, I mean, whether he goes or not, LSU's going to get a quarterback out of the portal.
Yeah, but they're not going to get a guy in the LSU system.
They're going to have to go out the portal, Scooter, because there's nobody there that I think can actually step on the field and be a starter right now.
What is the LSU system? The last 2 years, you've had Jaden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier. Mm-hmm. That's two totally different quarterbacks.
Yeah,
it is. Tell me what the LSU system.
I'm talking about knowing the offense, the coaches, the playbook, Kelly's mind. Yeah.
The system is based on who comes there. Yeah, that's the system.
Well, I know that.
Okay. That's the system.
Are you telling me you guys would rather see a portal transfer come in here or hold Nussmeier? Come on. You want to hold Nussmeier?
Well, I mean, but you got to bring one in.
Look, as a backup. They're going to go shopping. They're going to go shopping.
The thing is this. If Nussmeier stays, I would try to go to the port and get a quarterback that's a dual threat.
Of course.
Don't get the same guy.
No.
Because you got the same stuff.
No, I'm agreeing on that.
Get something different.
All right. The CFP, now we're down to 12. All right, look, you've seen the bracket. Arizona State's in with the bye. Georgia's in with the bye.
Georgia earned their way in. But
Oregon's in with it. And the drama
Alabama's threatened to leave the NCAA.
And they could very well
I'm exaggerating.
I'm going to look.
Paul Feinbaum, y'all got to watch this show.
Games.
Y'all have to watch the Paul Feinbaum show. It's hilarious.
The strength of schedule and strength of resume against the conference championship.
It does carry some weight now.
Really. I think they lost it. It's a tough spot for the committee, though.
Well, they were no win.
No win.
They were either going to send the message that strength of schedule doesn't matter or conference championships don't matter. I'd rather do what they did.
And you know what?
Because conference championships, they're hanging by a thread.
They're going away.
But
they've
the thing is,
go away.
And I don't want them to go away.
I know you don't.
I know you don't but Scooter, this is the problem I have with a conference championship. What if you lose it? What if you lose it? That should not determine if you should be in the CCPF or not. That's not right.
Well,
losing
then
a
you're
conference
saying
championship,
that game doesn't matter. No,
I know what you're saying, Scooter,
and
but
you
that's
could
a hard
play
choice
your
to make.
way out of it.
You could.
My problem is not with the 12 teams they came up with, particularly with they had the automatic bids they had to do. I didn't like the seeding of the 12 teams.
Yeah, there was some seeding. Yeah.
I didn't either.
Later, Thursday, we're going to get in more of this. I don't know if Indiana deserves to be there.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
But that's just me. We got to run. We got to do our 40-yard sprint. We got to get to Coach V. Matt Viator is coming up next right here from Caesars Sportsbook, Horseshoe Lake Charles.
Coors Banquet, the same brewing tradition since 1873. When you're the favorite beer of rock stars and cowboys, you don't compromise. That's our legacy. What do you want to go down in history for? Start your legacy. Coors Banquet.
What's bugging you? Is it roaches? They're the first pest you think of for indoor bugs and a health threat. At J&J, we offer weapons to eliminate and prevent infestation of your home or business. Let us take care of what's bugging you. Contact us today for a free inspection.
He takes the handoff. It's a refurb.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
All right, welcome back to Caesars Sportsbook, Horseshoe Lake Charles. New Year's Eve, never too early to start making your plans now. Do a luxurious dinner at Gordon Ramsay Steakhouse. And don't forget the free concert at Bruise Brothers that night. You got Rusty McGuire and
Yeah.
Zydeco Crush along with Keith Frank and the band. Free concert, Bruce Brothers after the Great Ramsey
That's
dinner,
gonna be
right?
pretty good.
Come on over to Horseshoe and celebrate your New Year's Eve and bring it in 2025 the right way. So talking about bringing in the show the right way, let's welcome back an old friend. That would be new McNeese head football coach.
Old friend.
Matt Viator.
Old
The
friend.
sequel.
The sequel for Coach V.
friend.
Welcome in, man. It's been
Thanks.
10 years since you've been on this crazy show.
It's been that long.
9.
9. Okay, I'm gonna expand.
I was told it was 9.
You ready for the sequel?
Wow.
You ready for the sequel?
Wow.
I am.
He's ready. And Friday. You're looking great, Trim.
Thanks. Feel
Looking
good.
great. Looking great. All right. Let's start off with the process. I talked to AD Heath Schroyer. He assured me that this was a 1-week process. That it was started talking to the candidates, it kept going back to you over a span of 5 or 6 days, I guess.
Yes.
You made a decision, negotiations were done. That's a quick turnaround.
It was actually when he contacted me, and at the time I didn't realize there was going to be a change.
Right.
I had no idea, and so anyway, I called him back, and on that Monday I think it was somewhere around noon, and we got together and started talking. And but it did happen pretty fast, and but it was actually a good process to be honest. And I appreciate Heath and Matt, and coming and doing what they did, and I'll say this.
That would be Matt Fontenot, the
Matt
associate
Fontenot,
AD.
yeah, I'm sorry, but he's a good salesman. So.
Well, we know that.
Oh yeah, believe me.
Well,
Believe
did
me.
it ever occur to you during this up and down McNeese season that there might be a change and you might be interested?
Well, I didn't know there was going to be a change. I was, I had heard otherwise, to be honest. And but when it did happen, and and I was approached, and I've said that though, Scooter. It's in my opinion, it's the same location, it's a different place.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that's changed there, and obviously the location is the same and stuff. But I think there's some things that are different about it, and different way that it's being run, which I welcome. And
In what ways?
I think in the way
particularly appeals to you.
I think in the way it's funded and how it's being funded, and I was talking with Heath and Matt, and he went on some stuff, and I looked over at him. I said, "So you guys would rather me recruit and coach football than fundraise?" I'm in.
Yeah.
Okay, and things like that, and no, I think that the way it's being run and with the leadership, with and getting an opportunity to meet Dr. Roos, and I mean it's exciting. I mean it's an exciting time, and I'm looking forward to starting, not going back, to starting, and and I made that perfectly clear to the team. I mean we can't go back. I can't go back, and to be honest with you, I mean what I did 9 years ago doesn't help them, and so anyway, we're looking forward, and it's an exciting time.
Matt, so it wasn't a Nick Saban situation where they asked Miss Terry and she said no, but blank blank.
Well, you got to keep the better half happy.
Definitely. But
No
Matt,
doubt.
It's you've been there, done that, okay? And you know the people, you know the community, and I think they couldn't have put a better guy in place. And everybody was, extremely excited
I
when they
appreciate
heard.
that.
And the thing, Matt, that gets me is that when I talk about it and when I look at it, McNeese has always had different people come in with different types of philosophies and stuff like that. What works for a Matt Viator, offensive scheme-wise? What works for a Matt Viator?
I think to be balanced, and to have the opportunity to do both and have the ability to do both, and I always started with we have to be able to beat the defense. That's number one. Number two, I always talk to our offensive coaches, and I truly believe this. Either the offense is dictating or the defense is dictating. We have to be in a position where we're dictating what's going on. But I think in a perfect world, Kevin, you have the ability to do both, and I think you have to be physical, but you have to be able to throw the ball around and attack the defense in different ways and stuff. So, I think some of it's going to depend on who we can put at quarterback. And
Matt, say that again, man.
no, I mean,
We're going to get into on Thursday's show. We'll get into the roster.
These two yahoos right here, Matt.
I see things, and I always have. Maybe sometimes to a fault, but I see things through the lens of a quarterback, and what is his ability. You go back and look at McNeese. They were asking me the question. Cody Stroud, 2 straight years threw for over 3,500 yards, and then we get Daniel Sams, and all of a sudden,
we don't look like the same team.
Right.
But, you know, I think you have to be able to adapt, and to me it starts with the quarterback, but I have to see what we have.
Yeah.
And then once we go through spring ball, I think hopefully we'll have a better idea of what we have and adjust it from there.
And you'll go from there. Matt Viator, part 2, new head football coach for the McNeese State Cowboys. That decision was made last week. We got him here on SoundOff. You left here after the 15 season, we'll call it 60. You go to UL, spent 5 years in Monroe. What, 2 or 3 years as an analyst at UL Lafayette? 3 years. You made an interesting comment in your introductory press conference. I'm paraphrasing, but you have to be a better version of yourself. I think that's pretty unique and introspective, that you're going to have to improve to really succeed in today's college game, right?
No question, and I think what we were referencing, talking about, hopefully I've learned something in 5 years.
There you go.
Look, the Monroe experience, I love Monroe. Great people, tough job.
Yeah.
Great
Why
people.
you say tough job?
Yeah.
Great people, and I thought it was a really good experience, and I learned some stuff. And I think having the opportunity to work for a year with Billy Napier and work a couple years with Mike Desimo, two really outstanding
Great
coaches and good people.
Yeah.
But you see things, you back up. And
Yeah.
I was telling you, Rick, I think you had asked me the question, but I think one of the big mistakes I made as a head coach, and I'm admitting it, in the 16 years, I didn't get out and keep learning and keep going, because it's hard to get out as a head coach. I wore a bunch of hats at McNeese. I wore a whole bunch of hats at Monroe. And just to pick up and go somewhere. And so I think the opportunity to sit back and learn, you know, of course, obviously Billy is entrenched in the Saban system, and to really be able to see that, the whole and how it works, and be able to take some of that. So hopefully, you know, I think I'm a better version of myself, you know, and I've learned some stuff and learned more things, and hopefully those things that I've learned will help our players.
Give that notes to him. You can learn. You can get better.
Both of y'all.
There's a coach. He's trying to coach you, Hans.
Before he leaves, he's going to school both
I'm
of y'all.
talking about the TV show.
No, you.
All right, you got it. Last question. You got the last
I'm
one.
sorry, what would be your first order of business, you think?
Whenever I started, you talking about? Yeah, I mean, the first order was to meet the staff that was there and try to evaluate some of those guys and be fair about that process. Meet the players, which I went in, and you know, so I've given them all opportunities to come up and sit down, and we've had conversations. But I think now I'm really, you know, focused on the recruiting part, and I think, to me, the most critical thing that a head coach does, that's hire the staff around him. I think that's the number one job you have to do, and you only get one shot at it, and you got to get it right, and I'm trying to do my best at that.
All right, we'll leave it there. We're coming back with Coach V. We'll talk about the players and the narrative and the messaging and the staff, and moving forward with some of that stuff, and portal and NIL, and oh my gosh, Merry Christmas. We got more to come. We're coming back with Coach V, here, coming to you from Caesars Sportsbook. Stay right there.
What's bugging you?
Is it ants? They're crazy, tiny, irritating pests outside trying to get in. At J&J, we offer weapons to locate, eliminate, and prevent their entering your home or business. Let us take care of what's bugging you. Contact us today for a free inspection.
All right, we're back with new McNeese head football coach Matt Viator. It sounds so strange saying that. Hey, I'm taking a swing.
Man,
You're up, Gidry.
Look, Coach, I mean, some years back, like you said, 9 since we've had you, I guess, back on the show. The one thing now that seems like it's changed now, you've got NIL, you got portal. Where does that start for you as a head coach now at McNeese? Do you still go into a kid's living room and sit down and tell his mom you would love to have him come to McNeese and change him to be a great young man and be in the community and just be a great father? Does that still exist?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
Just
going to
bring your
continue.
checkbook with you.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that's going to continue to be the starting point. I don't care where you are, and then obviously it can lead to other things from there. But no, that still has to be the starting point. And, you know, hopefully it still matters some. You know,
Some,
sure, but no, that's still the starting point, and that'll continue to be.
Yeah. Rick, one more.
Yeah.
Coach, now that you're back here at McNeese, some of the things that we've talked about on the show, and Scooter and Rick will disagree when I bring it up, but you can't have you can't have an offense unless you know the type of people you're going to put into it. And the biggest problem we've had is that you can't run a spread if you got to drop that quarterback.
I know.
It's hard to. What do you vision, McNeese, going into the future? What type of identity you want to put on the Cowboys for us? For when people come into the stadium, what are they going to see, Coach, on the field?
Well, hopefully they see guys that play with great effort and guys that play with discipline and guys that are going to compete to the end. In terms of scheme-wise, what I was referencing is I think everybody has a base offense. Here's your base structure and what you do. Here's the terminology. Here's the system. But I think you have to have enough flexibility in the system to not 100% of it, because it's still got to suit the backup quarterback too. And the starter may not be the same skill set as the backups, but I think you have to have some flexibility within your system to say, okay, now we have moved. I just used Cody and Daniel as examples. So now we move from a pocket passer to a guy that can run like crazy. So we got to let him run. So now I think you have to have, 30-40% of your offense that you can move that tailors to him. But however, we've always talked about that. Okay, that guy gets hurt. Well, guess what? The other guy might not be. So you have to have enough flexibility in your offense that you can move around. But to me, that's where it starts. And defensively, with the years with Lance, Lance wants to blitz and play man. Well, you got to have people who can play man.
That can cover.
So all of a sudden, you may not have guys that can cover, and then all of a sudden, so I think you have to get in there and see what you have, but you have to have enough flexibility. I think there's no doubt you have to have a base system that you run, but you have to have enough flexibility in there to suit the personnel, and hopefully after spring ball we'll know that.
Let me play off that flexibility. You can get some flexibility through the transfer portal. The portal opened up on Monday. We're sitting here earlier in the week. Have you had any chance to sit down with, I'll say three guys, that being All-American Micah Davey and Bugsy Sevilla, and then the punter. I'm talking about a punter because he was that good. What can you tell us in regards to, have they made decisions? Have you made your pitch? Have you explained to them changes can be good? And where do you stand on some of those guys that entered the portal but may not have made their decision yet?
No, I've talked to all three of them and had lengthy conversations, and I don't think it's as simple as making my pitch. I think in some cases, I don't care who the coach is. I mean, they want to explore their opportunities. I mean, they have an opportunity. I referenced the point the other day to some guys or whatever. You look at teams, whoever wins the national championship, don't be surprised that they have 20 guys in the portal. Well, it's got to be pretty good there. I mean, they win it pretty good. People have an opportunity and stuff. Y'all referenced it early, the LSU, and I was listening to y'all, but I don't think that, now, I mean, I think kids are looking for opportunity, and they're looking and they hear, I'm getting, these guys are getting paid this and they're getting paid, and it's
a different ball game.
Look, maybe somebody did get in the portal because of but when I got there, when I walked into the first meeting with the coaches, I said, hey, who's potential portal guys? And they boom, 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 so I mean, before they ever knew who Matt Viator was. But all I've done is say, look, and I joked about it. And I told the players, I said, I'd be a hypocrite if I sat here and chewed you out for getting in the portal, because I got in the portal and came here. I mean, and I did.
Honest.
But
they like that. They just want to be told the truth.
But hey, here's what I think we can do here. Here's why I want you here, and hey, man, we would love to have you here.
That's all you can do, Coach.
We're going to try to do the best we can to help you, and this. But I mean, you can't. The kids, the NCAA gave them that right, and
that's right.
He did.
So I'm not.
Well, the Supreme Court did. You're
right.
Supreme Court. You're right.
You're right. From the state of California.
That's right.
But
I get it.
All right, the 9 years you've been gone. You're raised here, coached here. The 9 years you were gone, how much did you keep up with what was going on with McNeese when you were at Monroe and in Lafayette?
Well, that's a sore subject for me, because I was telling Jim Gazzola today, I read the Lake Charles paper every day on my phone. I've since I was in high school, and I've never stopped. And then I corrected Jim. I said, I forgot. I don't read it on Sunday and Monday now for some reason. But anyway, but I don't read it every day. But no, Scooter. I mean, my wife and I always. This is where we're from, and so I've kept up in a sense that I read the paper, but I have not seen a bunch of games. I have not, I don't know the inner workings of whatever, but I basically read I basically have kept up through reading the American press and what's going on in McNeese, not just in athletics, but what's going on, and it's home. And so,
what is your initial impression of your athletic director, Heath Schroyer?
Impressive, really impressive. To be honest with you, it's the first time whenever we got together that I've had like a lengthy discussion with him. I've seen him at a couple functions and we said hello. I went to Natchitoches because Kerry got inducted. And he was there, and and I went over and we had a nice conversation, but I've never, like gotten a lengthy discussions with him or whatever, but actually to sit down and hear how he structured the whole program and his vision and stuff. I was really impressed with that because that's the first time I really had an opportunity to sit down with him for any length of time.
Yeah.
Matt, one of the things that I'm going to go back to the three of us talking about again, and I'm so glad you're here today because of the fact is we've had times where we discuss coaches and the relationship that they have with their players. You have always had guys from when I went to the games and seen, they would flat out play for you, Matt. What's the type of relationship you feel you still have to have with players, Matt, for those guys to run through a brick wall for the head coach, man?
I think, the fact that they know you're doing everything you can to help them on and off the field, I think starts with that. Number two, they know that you're doing the very best you can to put them in the very best situations they can on the field, and that's what we're trying to do. And, I think just being approachable to them and, interacting with them. And so, I hope that. I mean, that's what we've tried to do, and we've worked hard, and I'm going to continue to work hard to help them. And
it's always worked for you,
Well,
Matt.
it's like, I told them the other day, I'm asking you to trust me now. I'm going to trust you, but sooner or later, I got to earn yours, and you got to trust mine. I mean, you got to earn mine, so that's a starting point.
Coach, we appreciate you coming in. We'll have more with Matt Viator in Thursday's version of the show. We'll get into more about the roster and the coaching staff and the like. We appreciate it. Well, we'll see you later in this week. We got to run. We'll go at round 4 when we come back. Stay right here.
He takes the handoff. It's a repurpose.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
What's bugging you?
Is it termites? The season is now and they are swarming. At J&J Exterminating, we offer some very effective weapons against infestation of your home or business. Let us take care of what's bugging you. Don't wait. Contact us now for a free inspection.
J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 60 years.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
Coors Banquet, the same brewing tradition since 1873. When you're the favorite beer of rock stars and cowboys, you don't compromise. That's our legacy. What do you want to go down in history for? Start your legacy. Coors Banquet.
All right, many thanks for Matt Viator for coming in.
Yes.
It's good to have him back.
Yeah, rekindling our energy with Coach V. Thursday show later in the week, more discussion with Coach V in regards to his return to McNeese. Guys, the Saints pick up win number 5. It was expensive. Derek Carr out for the rest of the year, fractured left hand, concussion protocol. The season has gone to crap. We're back to those 2 lousy backup quarterbacks, Hayner and Spencer.
Well, no,
Rattler.
we started with the first one. Rick, your boy, why would you do what you did?
What was he thinking?
Why would you do that?
I thought the same thing.
If he doesn't get hurt, y'all be praising him. Put his
still
body
too
on
risky.
the line.
Too risky.
Stop.
You got 2 crappy quarterbacks. They're still in the hunt. And he's trying to do he's flying through the air.
Forget the injury. Can you watch that game and tell me they were in the hunt?
Well,
that might have been the ugliest.
I could
that
not
set
believe
football back
what
30
he did,
years.
man. What unbelievable.
Jaden Daniels coming to the Dome. Oh, my God.
Can you believe that?
Guys, Bill Belichick.
I think I'm going to that game.
College coaching, North Carolina. He
Not
says
gonna
we'll see.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
What do you think he's doing?
I'm telling you, it's not happening. It's not happening. Can you imagine Bill Belichick sitting down with a kid and saying NIL?
Not really. We're out of time. Guidry, Hobbs, and Saro. We'll see you next time right here at the Sportsbook. Caesars at Lake Charles Horseshoe.
SoundOff, Louisiana.